Good evening from the Greenyards, where FOSROC Super 6 Week 8 gets underway here, with Heriot's making the journey down from Edinburgh to face table-topping Southern Knights. The Southern Knights are in a really good position to make the grand final, and you'll be able to go to that on Sunday the 17th of October at Edinburgh's brand new rugby stadium, the Dam Health Stadium, just behind BT Murrayfield. Tickets available now on scottishrugby.org. But tonight, Heriot's and the Southern Knights go head-to-head here at the Greenyards, and it's live in about 15 minutes time. Earlier on I caught up with Rab Christie and Andrew Kelly, the head coaches of the Southern Knights and of Heriot's Rugby, to see what they made of the match this evening. Rob, how would you describe your season to date? Successful?
Asked me that question right at the end. No, look, I think that we're getting better. We felt at times we have been a little bit inconsistent at times throughout games, where when we're on it we feel that we're up there with any of the six teams. But like every other coach, you know, we've definitely got things to work on, and we're working hard to make sure that we're a little bit more consistent, if I'm being honest. Is
it fair to say we've seen the standard go up almost every week?
Absolutely. I think that obviously the work that's been done off the pitch by players as well as the coaches, you can see that we're learning from each other, and we're trying to put that into practice come the games on the weekend. So and look, the players 16 months out, I think they've done a tremendous job physically and being able to compete at the level they're competing just now, so credit to all the players and all six teams.
You face Heriot's tonight. You've won at Golden Acre in week 2, but in this league we've found anybody can beat anybody on any given Friday, Saturday or Sunday. What do you expect tonight?
Yeah, look, if I'm being honest, I probably expect a little bit of a kickback from last Sunday, where they had a disappointing result at home. I think that they'll be disappointed with how they played, and I expect that they'll come out of the traps pretty quick. So look, we got to focus on ourselves and make sure that we're accurate in what we do, and hopefully we can play in the right areas of the pitch and build our game from there.
And a debut tonight, talking of speed, for Freddie Owsley, who's come up from the Bristol Bears to Edinburgh. I mean, he's a former Great Britain under-20 200 metre runner, internationalist. He's got plenty of pace. I think there's a lot of people waiting to see what he looks like tonight.
Yeah, it's great. You know, Edinburgh have been brilliant. You know, the players are now beginning to come down into Super 6 and hopefully get a lot of game time, which will only drive the standards up. And it's good to see that. It's good for the Super 6 players as well to compete against these players, because ultimately a lot of the Super 6 players want to get to that level. So, you know, it's good for everybody. And yeah, Freddie's been great this week. He's came down all week, and he's been great in the group and in the environment, and everybody here is excited to see how he goes, and he's definitely got some pace, I would have thought.
Is he as fast as advertised?
I've not seen him open up completely yet, so let's see how he goes.
Rob, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, cheers.
Andrew, team news, first of all, lots of changes, I think, is the explanation you gave. Such a short turnaround Sunday to Friday makes it hard for a coach, so you've refreshed things.
Yeah, I think it was actually quite an easy decision in the end to freshen it up, get as many new faces in there as possible, and that's what we've done.
Disappointment last weekend at Golden Acre against the Bulls. Could you put your finger on what didn't quite go right for you?
Well, we went into our old routine that we did at the start of the season, and we couldn't get past 2 phases. Dropped the ball in first phase and gave the ball up cheaply to the Bulls. So that's a big thing to work on this week, is actually getting our first few phases, getting that execution right.
I think the best I've seen you play was in the second half at Watsonians, where you came from 17-3 down to win the game. It's that kind of performance you're going to need tonight.
Well, I think, yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to have to just be really disciplined, not even with the ref, but disciplined to actually get through our phases and execute what we want to do.
In terms of the pack, who has the advantage tonight, do you think?
Oh, I think they're on a high, and they've won well down here against a good Watson side. So, you know, I think they're the favourites, but you know, we're here to play and try and get a result.
Andrew, we wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And it's a breezy old night in Melrose, where the Southern Knights will take on Heriot. It's good to hear from the coaching staff there. Plenty of noise in the background. There'll be a good atmosphere around the Greenyards for this one. Kieran Beattie joins me for the match this evening. Scotland Sevens head coach, currently working in the Edinburgh Academy as well. And Kieran, these two sides, let's talk about Southern Knights first of all. I mean, they have been decent all season. They've barely played a bad game, and they are on a high.
Yeah, good evening. It's it's a fascinating matchup tonight. You've absolutely nailed that one. Southern Knights, the most consistent team in the league by far, versus Heriots, who, fair to say, they're a bit up and down at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, if Boroughmuir Bears, 8 points against Southern Knights, Watsonians last week, just 8 points. They're becoming a hard team to score on.
They are, and I think that's fast becoming their DNA. Is they're a hard team to beat, Southern Knights, aren't they? Whether it's at home here, bit of a fortress, or even on the road, they're grinding out results, and they've got a very clever coach in Rob Christie who architects all that, and some very smart players on the pitch, and again, as we say, really consistent. And what I really like about Southern Knights at the minute is the ruthlessness of them. As soon as they enter that 22, they are coming away with points every time, and that makes them a very hard team to beat.
Heriots, by the other hand, they've had a couple of great wins. The wins against Watsonians, that's not an easy Edinburgh double. Winning at Watsonians, the first Super 6 side to do so. But they rather laid an egg against the Ayrshire Bulls. I don't think there's any other way about it. Losing by 28 points to 0. I know that disappointed Andrew Kelly. The number of mistakes, certainly first and second phases.
I think Andrew Kelly will be the most frustrated coach in the league. They have been very inconsistent, this Heriots team. On their day, what they can produce is outstanding, and we've seen that. Unfortunately, they're not putting together 80-minute performances, or even sometimes 20-minute performances, but when they get it right, this is a fantastic Heriots team. So, we're just waiting for it to click, and we could be in for a cracking matchup.
It's going to be a great round 8 of the FOSROC Super 6, Southern Knights against Heriot. You're about to see that live here on the BBC. Tomorrow, the Boroughmuir Bears host the Ayrshire Bulls. Ayrshire Bulls just hitting their stride as well. Big game 2 on Sunday, Stirling County and Watsonians Rugby, as these teams trying to find their way further up the table in the FOSROC Super 6. Currently top of that table are the Southern Knights. They've played well and they have looked good so far. There is the league table with 7 games played. The Southern Knights 25 points, the 5 wins, the 1 draw in there, and the Ayrshire Bulls now just settling into good position. I think it's important for Watsonians. They need to win at Stirling County if they're going to push up in the last couple of weeks to try and get into that final 2 positions. So lots of big games. Heriots too can get themselves above Stirling County coming into the matches coming up this weekend. So overall, Kieran, we've seen some great rugby, and I'm expecting certainly great rugby tonight. But what would be the message for Andrew Kelly to his Heriots players just in the final few seconds before coming out here?
I think, as you say, you look at the league table there, and they've got nothing to lose coming down here, and that's probably Heriots at their best. We're seeing that. We've seen that in the return leg when we were through at Goldenacre. Southern Knights got off to a fantastic start. You would have put your mortgage on it after 20 minutes there was going to be a 50-pointer on the cards. Heriots, shackles were off, and they just came out and played some fantastic rugby, and that was an absolute humdinger of a game. Hopefully now we're getting that for a minute dot here, because the pressure's off Heriots in this one. It's a shot, you could say it's a shot to nothing for them, but I know there's a bit more pride in that club than that. This is a very successful club we're talking about, and they'll still have aspirations here. There's a few games left, and they'll be expecting W's across the board.
Yeah, they'll certainly be expecting to go for it. The battle of the 2 teams, let's have a look at these for you. Southern Knights, looks very, very strong, all the way from 1 to 15. A late change, Dalton Redpath has come in. He will wear 8, and he's a late replacement for Ian Moody, but we suspect Rory Knott will play at number 8. We'll see as the game goes on. But fascinating tussles there. Jason Baggett and Nathan Chamberlain, 2 players who can control any game given half a chance.
Yeah, both excellent with the boot, aren't they? There's a bit of a breeze tonight as well. I don't think that will affect these 2 that much. Their bags of experience and bags of technical ability. They'll be looking to put their team in the right place on the pitch. But as you say, some fascinating tussles there. Sam Pecure up against Callum Young. 2 forces of nature going to meet each other down those wings, and then Freddie Owlsley, the Edinburgh debutant last week. This guy is quick, as we've mentioned, and hopefully we see him in a bit of space. And the electric James Cooper trying to man-mark him. Good luck to him tonight. But this guy's quick as well. Off the first 5-10 metres, James Cooper is electric, so it's going to be fascinating.
You obviously, the Sevens head coach. How do you defend pace in the 15s game?
How do I defend it?
Well,
badly at the minute, I would say. you can tactically. You can provide space that you know you can get into. You can use a touchline. You can use your inside and outside defenders. But your clever defenders can manipulate the attackers, slow them down, and try and get their feet movement slow, and you can come onto them with a bit more aggression. But at the end of the day, it's difficult. If your attacker really goes to town and they're moving at full pace, it can put you under some real stress as well. So there's a lot of manipulation in defence. We talk about, use that word, and it sounds a terrible word, but it's something we try and do.
Plenty of experience on the bench for Heriots as well. Murdo McAndrew and Patrick Anderson. When we talk about speed and good wingers, I mean, the Southern Knights, I mean, if you can deal with Osley and Pecure, you've then got Patrick Anderson coming off the bench. So Heriots are going to have it tough this evening. There's no matter what in terms of the wing play, but Heriots himself, Bruce Houston's had a very good season as well. He finds himself on the bench tonight with Nathan Chamberlain in at 10, but he'll be an important player as well. Yeah,
and I think Andrew Kelly mentioned it in the start there. He's freshening things up there, and there'll be a lot of confidence Chambo coming in there with that Heriots team. But equally, if they feel the need to, they've got some ammunition on the bench there with Bruce, and he can not only kick very well, similar to Chambo, but he can run. He's an elusive runner as well at 10. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. They've got two good benches there. Patrick Anderson, as you say, I think he could do as well at 7 as he could at 14 or on the wing there. He's an aggressive player. So again, there's options for Rob Christie in this Southern Knights team.
In terms of aggression, it's all about channeling it in the right way. And what we've seen in the Super 6 as well, it's the teams with the best discipline often, have the best chance of winning the game. And we've seen that. I mean, Southern Knights are the most disciplined side in the league in terms of yellow cards. And that's a very important thing, because you keep 15 players on the pitch, you're giving yourself a much better chance. And what we've seen so far in the Super 6 is that teams are very, very good at picking off their opponents when they're down to either 14 or 13.
I think discipline's a key word for this team, Southern Knights team. If you could, it's a great way to describe it. Discipline, as you say, in terms of their penalty count, but discipline in terms of, as we said, their ruthlessness in the areas of the park. Every team has momentum in a game. Every team has their little purple patch. Southern Knights seem to really excel when they have their momentum in their purple patch. They seem to be coming away with points every time. And the converse of that, when the other team has this purple patch, they just manage to slow the game down. They just manage to nullify them and take it away from them a little bit. So it shows a lot of experience, a lot of well coached as well. And I think that'll be something they discuss and they train actually as a team. That doesn't just happen by chance. So a well drilled team this, but as we say, a fascinating matchup with Heriots tonight, who can really, on this fantastic pitch here, can really exploit and hopefully go to town a little bit.
Certainly looking forward to, you saw in the shot there, some of the young Melrose players who are playing on this 4G surface a little bit earlier. Some of the young boys and girls from Peebles as well were having a great time playing on the surface, but it's time to make way for the big boys as Southern Knights and Heriots just getting ready down below us to come out on the field of play for week 8 of the FOSROC Super 6. The Southern Knights coming into it having won 5 of 7. They'll face Heriots, who've won 3 times this season. And Heriots in the navy and white, those traditional colours, led out by Ian Wilson. And just trotting onto the field of play, Ronan Sejak running through your picture there with a black head cap. And as Heriots make their way on, they're having to change, not in the visitors' changing room, but in changing rooms that have been set up slightly further back, so it's a bit more of a trek to get onto the field of play, but they are here. And it's going to be an important night for the pack. Chris Keane, Michael Linus and Dan Gamble, the front three. Looking forward to seeing Fraser Hasty. I think it's had a very good campaign, Fraser Hasty, so far. 6 times he's played. This is his 4th consecutive start as the Southern Knights, led by the skipper Niall Godsmark, come on to the field of play. All in white, very powerful looking colour. And the Southern Knights get ready. Our referee will be in red this evening. It's Ben Blaine, took charge of the match here last week. So getting ready, the FOSROC Super 6 live from the Greenyards. The Southern Knights and Heriots. It's going to be the Southern Knights who will get us underway. Jason Baggett stands with ball in hand. just as a little word with the referee. Heriot split off to the left hand side.
Okay, Blue.
And the referee, hopefully the referee will switch his microphone on and we'll be able to hear him as we go along. So the opening kick-off. Well, that is timing. What a great challenge that was. And already really not making himself and his presence felt.
Hold, Bob, hold.
Heriot's looking. Well, there's a little bit of run, Nathan Chamberlain, and then gets the kick away. And that's good play. It's in the textbook, isn't it? Can take the opening kick off, get it out your 22, get yourself back up the field, and that was neatly done.
Yeah, neatly done by Nathan Chamberlain there, isn't it? He's got experience. No pressure, you know, you could easily get flustered there. Two big men running down his channel, and he just, all the time in the world, steps on, puts it on his right foot, and good clearance. And we'll see the first set piece here.
Line out taken well by the home team. Russell Anderson in at the base. He's a try-scoring threat this season, but it's taken on by Cameron Jones. Jones on that far side, waiting for first receiver Sean Gunn. Gunn drops it off. Heriot's getting there, resetting the lines. Jones plays it through the hands of Cameron Scott. It's going to pop back up on the Heriot side, but it bounces the way of Alan Ferry. Ferry is stopped short and then reaches out and gets the score. Well, Heriot's thought they'd invoked a turnover, but somehow Alan Ferry managed to get himself free onto the ball. And I'll tell you what, in acrobatic fashion, and within the opening 2 minutes, the Southern Knights get themselves on the board. What a start for the Southern Knights.
Fantastic, so unlucky for Heriot. Nathan Chamberlain, the assist tackler there, rips the ball. I think it's from James Head. Great bit of play from him. But look at Ferry there. I mean, as all good sevens, any loose ball, picks it up, and great finish from him, isn't it? As you say, probably 5 out of 10 for the dive, but great work from Nathan Chamberlain, and good work from the 7 there.
And you saw Alex Ball was the man in position to try and make the tackle, but he was on his heels. He wasn't in a very good position, and Alan Ferry went past him. The conversion is up and good, and well, Danish breweries don't do perfect starts, but if they did,
good bit of play here as well. And Southern Knights do this quite a lot. Cammy Scott wearing the 12 quite often jumps in at that 10. We'll have Jason Baggett out the back there as a bit of a deception, as a kicking option as well. So it just puts a bit of doubt in the defence there, and you'll see that quite a lot as we go through the game.
So Heriot's on the back foot already. An early score for the Southern Knights, the league leaders, opening up the game well.
Use it!
Cry of use it from the referee. Cameron Jones sends it high. Marshall waits underneath it, takes it well, immediately wrestled to the ground by Owsley. Now he does get away. Callum Marshall does well. Needs some support, he'll get it. Moved quickly by Ball. Ball gets to the cross. Fraser Hasty. And Hasty goes in again. Now pulled out onto Chamberlain. Chamberlain onto the fullback. Jones makes the run. Jones thought about the offload, does get it through the hands of McMichael, playing it centre today. Dropped it off to Robert Kay. Good response from Heriot. See Wilson picks up, into contact he goes, knocked away. Now they'll come back again. The headband belongs to Rory Leishman. Being held up, the maul was called, so they're going to try and get the ball out of there. Alex Ball digging around for it, and then dropped it, but dropped it backwards, and then finds a little gap. Ball going for the post, he's trying to come across. What a sensational score from the scrum half. What a start to the FOSROC Super 6 Week 8. 2 tries inside 4 minutes, and what a response from the Capital Club.
Fantastic from Alex Ball, and you quite often see this with these live wire 9s. When it's sort of loose out the back there, it actually just opens up the opportunity for him, but it takes a good player to find that and actually sees it. He's skint the fullback as well. Fantastic finish. He's got a bit of 7's pedigree, Alex Ball, as well, and he's showing that on this fast track here. What a start to the game.
Callum Marshall took it really well. I thought he was going to get swallowed up, but somehow he managed to get away. Now, this is in the scrum half textbook. You pretend to drop it backwards. That throws everybody a dummy. What a run that was. I mean, Baggett's not slow, but he just ran away from him. Had a little look going under the post, but you want to make the score and going to the right-hand side of the post. It's just terrific scrum half play.
Great start, isn't it? What a great start to the game. Fantastic. Yeah, as you say, sometimes it's funny how often that happens when it's not quite clean ball and it just forces his hand a little bit, and he's taken on that guard there in that defensive line, and he's through. Good start to the game.
So 5 minutes played. It should be 7 points apiece here to rush the kick slightly. Now if you extrapolate that, so if we get 14 points every 5 minutes, we should be over a ton by when?
I think we'll all be happy with that. That'd be great to see.
So gets ready to get us underway. Jason Baggett, a breathless start. Again, Marshall takes charge. Dropped the opening kick off against Watsonians a few weeks ago, but he's certainly got the right set of hands with him tonight through Chamberlain. Chamberlain trails it back.
Stop!
John Coombs with a long kick taken by Baggett. Baggett gathers. It's a good tackle, little bounce away, and it's going to be a knock on. Robert Kay doing his defensive duties pretty well there. It's been a really good response from Heriot.
It has. I was just going to say, I think there's been double figures offloads already as well, wasn't there? 6 minutes. We're up to double figures. I mean, probably not necessary. That's a good Baggett ran that back well, in a good position there. Probably needs just to hold on to that, especially after just giving away 7, and it's given Heriot, who, again, as we spoke about, teams have momentum and momentum swings. You feel, even though that was an early start for Southern Knights, they've certainly played the best rugby in this opening 6.5 minutes.
Stay with us for this one, it'll be an absolute cracker.
Bind! Set!
Sean Gunn, Russell Anderson, Ewan McLaren in the front row for the Southern Knights, up against Chris Keane, Michael Linus and Dan Gamble. It's Heriots who have got it. It's Callum Marshall takes it into contact. Nice driving over the top by Rory Leishman. And Michael Linus scored in both fixtures in the last season of Super 6. Out it goes. Waiting for it. There's Ronan Sidyak. Nice of both lock forwards to wear black head caps. That makes it nice and easy. That's a brilliant ball on the far side. Ross Jones. Jones is a man on the outside. Jones has got Cooper there. Cooper going for the corner. This is sensational rugby from Heriot and the Southern Knights. And what a score that is for James Cooper. He goes over in the corner and he gets his second try of the season.
Ross Jones, he's a lovely footballer, and he picks a great line there just in that 15-metre channel. And the great thing about it, you asked me, how do defenders stop this attack? Well, you try and slow them down. They couldn't stop him there. He just kept the pedal to the metal there. Look at this line here from him. Fantastic. And he's got great support from the very quick James Cooper here. What a finish, what a start.
Callum Young also was up in good support as well, and that just, the more players you've got, the more options you've got. It draws the defence. Well, so far Southern Knights and Heriot simply don't do bad tries. This has been terrific.
Rory McMichael as well, taking that ball to the line. You know, he plays a lot on the wing, but is equally competent at 13, and he's shown his class there by just taking it to the line at pace, staying square, drawing the defender, and putting Ross Jones through the hole. Oh, it's fantastic stuff.
So the conversion. Nathan Chamberlain just taking his time. Certainly very blustery out there. Gets the kick away and just across the face it goes. So what a start. I think we might only be hitting 80 points for the first half now, Kieran, but we'll settle for that. It's been terrific. Southern Knights, I mean, go in there, in their position. You know, you've started well, you've got to try, you know, you're at home, you're the leaders, and all of a sudden, you know, you've been pinged for 2 tries by Heriot's side. They're quite happy to pass around.
Yeah, but again, it's like we spoke about with Southern Knights, you know, to be honest, they've not been in the game. It was off of a bit of good play from Heriot that they stole a try there, and they're only 5 points behind after this. 9 minutes of Heriot's dominance, and they're still 5 points behind. This is how good this Southern Knights team is, and they weather storms really well.
Ben Evans has come onto the field of play, and that's again, Heriots have taken a nice touch And a long clearing kick as well on that far side. So Rory Knott is off. It's actually Patrick Anderson who's come on, and that will be the change. So it's a blood check on Rory Knott. Might be a bit of a reshuffle as well. We'll have a look.
I think, funnily enough, I think he's coming in the back row after what we're speaking about in the early exchanges there. So he'll enjoy that one. He's a physical player.
Well, you mentioned he was capable of going in there, so they've got his pace on there as well. Southern Knights, Gosnart does well, sets up the line well, got involved, got the pass away for the Owsley. Heriot's with players quickly round him. Back inside it goes. There comes Angus Runciman. Back on to Cameron Jones. Jones gets the ball out. Jenkins. Set up well. James Head.
Easy now, lad. No advantage. Leave the ball. Leave the ball. Number 6.
Collapsing the ball on the far side. I didn't see the referee actually indicate a penalty advantage there, but it's Rory Leishman who had dragged them all to the floor, and the referee gives the penalty the way of the home team.
Yeah, Southern Knights needed that. Just a couple of phases, just control the ball. They weren't looking to offload, they weren't looking to tip the ball on there at all. Just get a couple of contacts, get themselves into the game, because as I say, 11 minutes in and they've not really strung too much together, so they'll be happy with that. And they're in a good position here actually. Again, 12-7, as we've said. Heriot's definitely the better team. But that seems to be the story of Southern Knights this season. They just stay in touch and then take their chances when they come.
Another player down, it's Alan Perry, the one who scored the opening try. So he's currently down. He was on a bench against Heriots in week 2, former Newton Stewart man. And he's just getting some treatment. They're going to just try and stretch him out there. Heriots have a man down as well. It's not exactly what you want, is it? Because you've just got up to speed. You're warmed up. It's starting to cool down out there as well. So players just need to keep themselves warm, guard against any muscle injuries as well.
I think more for us as spectators, it's been a frantic start, which has been brilliant for us as probably neutrals. We just want to see it keep going.
So Jason Baggett stands over the kick. Referee just waiting for the medical teams and the water people to get off the field of play before he restarts the clock. If you're just joining us here on the BBC, the Southern Knights against Heriot, you picked the wrong Friday night to be late. We've had 3 tries already. It's been fantastic rugby. Just a little bit more patching up is being required.
Bobby Kay getting his head taped early this week. He puts his head in between the spokes every game. He's 100% commitment, this man, and he's in the wars early.
Does he have it in his contract that he's going to have a headband by the end of the game?
I think so. He must do. He must do. There's some sort of claret at some point.
Jason Baggett bangs it into the Melrose sky and tries to pin Heriot's back. Thought he might have gone a little bit deeper, but onto just inside the 22 it goes.
Down the middle. Gap's been good, lads. Keep it like that.
Russell Anderson. It's ready to throw. Plenty of movement. Oh, and it's overthrown, and it's won by Heriot. So a mistake from the line out. James Head couldn't get his fingertips on it and secure it, and Heriots have got a chance for the exit. And that's exactly what they do. Taken down well by Jenkins. Jenkins takes it for a run, steps inside McMichael. Tackle is made. I thought they'd turned him, but it's good play from Baggett to get back. But Heriot's not rolling away, and they're penalised. And Cameron Jones went to look quickly. It's up to you to get yourself out of there, even if you feel you're being trapped in. You've got to show the referee that you're moving away.
It is. As soon as you go high, even as that assist tackler, and you fall to the ground, you're putting yourself in the position where you're going to potentially get pinged in. You know, it's good. It's good. It forces a tackler to go low, and it allows the game to stay fast. And as a defence, you want to slow it down. So you put yourself in that position. That's what can happen.
Yeah, as you are. That's fine.
So once more, Marcel Anderson scored tries this season against Stirling County. Heriot's couple against Boroughmuir Bears. Dangerous from about 10 metres out this time. It is executed. They do move them all well.
He's legal, he's bound in.
You can see Dan Gamble sprinting to get back on the right side.
Say more.
Big pulled in, Sadak trying to do that. The maul is still there. Heriot's trying to disrupt, but it's difficult. This comes back on the night side. But Heriot's jackled this one. You know, the pass was a horrible one. Marshall did really well to move away. They're trying to pull it out, Chamberlain. Okay. Well, they're not being shy about running from their own 22 tonight. And the penalty will come. The call was for 13. No clear release now. Godsmark. And Heriot's, it's a gutsy performance so far.
It is. That's a great steal off of Southern Knights. You know, they would say that's one of their strong points. Definitely that driving maul. Had massive success with that, and that's a great steal. And then, as you say, having a crack from their own 22. Niall Godsmark, who's excellent over that ball, and that contact area, he's probably one of the best in the league at that. He wears 13, but he could easily be a 7. And yeah, the refs deemed him to be not clear in the least. But Ben Blaine, all the experience in the world, it gives Heriot's another good attacking platform here.
So Heriot's Michael Lennis.
6 plus 1 or is it 7? Thank you.
Marshall makes his way back into the line out. It comes into Fraser Hastie. Just looked a little bit on the squint side, but the referee was happy. Chamberlain tries to get it over the head. Well, Jenkins does well. Jenkins trying to find a little bit of space. Good tackle, McMichael. And some help from Callum Young. Southern Knights, Patrick Anderson going in there, where's 23. Lofted up by Kenny Jones, taken well by Ross Jones, and now Chamberlain looked to see if there was space, got away from James Head. Alex Ball. And it's setting up Linus in there, Hastie in there. Ball pulls it back onto Chamberlain. Chamberlain through the hands of Kay. Now he's making good ground. Ball quickly through the hands of Leishman to the 10 metre line. Now pulls it back a little bit high for Chamberlain. Chamberlain pulls it away. Now here comes McMichael. McMichael onto Wilson. Wilson gets it out on towards Cooper, and he just couldn't execute on that occasion. But you can certainly see the game plan that Andrew Kelly's got in mind. If they've got the opportunities to run the ball, they're going to take it at every chance to try and put the pressure on the Southern Knights, who perhaps might have been expecting more of a kicking game.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really having a crack here. Now even the simple stuff like they're setting up that forward pod off of the touchline, and they're quite happy just to tip it on into the guy that's in more space. You know, they're not playing conservative in the slightest, and having a real crack at them, and it's causing Southern Knights some real problems here. And that last pass didn't go to hand, but they'd really stretched Southern Knights there. That went to hand. They were in behind them again, and they're just putting Southern Knights under some real pressure with this. You know, it's great to watch, great for the neutral, because I think we were all expecting Southern Knights to really start this with a bang, and the tables have turned already.
For a big start so far. We apologise, there's been no scoring in the last 8 minutes after 3 tries in the first 8 minutes, but it has been terrific. Heriot's going to overtake Stirling County with a win, and the Southern Knights looking to stretch away at the top of the table. Ayrshire Bulls and Watsonians pursuing. Good crowd inside the Green Yards enjoying the rugby so far. Just a little bit of treatment coming to Callum Young down below. He's recovered and is going to be okay. And we'll get the throw. Time is back on and we're ready to go. So Russell Anderson plays it in. taken nicely done, Dalton Redpath, but again it's been picked up well. Michael Linus sends it across. Ian Wilson, Mr. Reliable as far as Heriots are concerned. Now ball onto Chamberlain. Chamberlain plays it through the hands. Here's McMichael. He's broken past Gonsmart. Tries to get the ball on the outside. If Heriots could get the pass away, they just couldn't, but they're going to recycle. Heriots driving forward. Chris Keane on that occasion. Southern Knights have a man down. Heriots will pull it out wide. That's outrageous flip on. They're trying to drive through on the corner. It's once more number 11 Callum Young. Eventually taken down, and Heriots come again. Southern Knights are down to 14. Heriots camped on the line. Advantage is coming the way of Heriots. They've come offside. Ian Wilson at the very back. That Redpath was a man who's been pinged. There's no way through for Michael Linus. Then Cole there, driven back. Still advantage for Heriots. Chamberlain tries to kick it onto the side, and it's not able to be taken on that occasion. Sanford watches as James Cooper can't hold on.
Time's off.
So they'll come all the way back for the penalty.
First one's 23, not rolling away the tackle.
Great stuff again from Heriots. Rory McMichael seems to be at the heart of everything at the minute. He's really attacking that line. He's so aggressive in his running, isn't he? He just does not accept that first tackle at all. And he's bending that line and getting the ball out through his hands as well. And they're really running off him as well. You can see everybody converging around him, expecting him to do that as well. And they're having some great success out of it. Michael Linus just carrying a little bit too high, 2 metres away from the line there, and Southern Knights just seen the opportunity and drove them back, slowed the ball down, forced Chamberlain to put boot to ball. But again, great stuff from Heriots.
Was that a body shape problem for Michael Linus? He was too up and that allowed him to be driven back?
I think so, yeah. You've got defenders on your line, you've got defenders packed in close together, and they're just looking for an inch of space to hit, really. And if you stand too tall, you're giving them a big target. So there's physics comes into it. So he's got to get low there, he's got to get low and drive the legs and trying to be lower than the defender so that he can cross over that line and at least set up quick ball and retain ball. So he'll be disappointed with that, because I know he takes massive pride in that side of his game as well.
Yeah, he's been a good player. I mean, at this, his 8th start of the season, he's played particularly well. He's 30 years old now. He might be one of these players that might not be looking to go upwards in the game, but I mean, playing at this level, which is an exceptionally high level, he's reveling in it. Yeah,
absolutely. He loves this club as well. He's a stalwart of the club. Yeah, I think he would do anything for it, and yeah, I know he's he's a PT as well. He looks after himself. He actually helps with some of the fitness here down at Heriots as well. So he's a big part of this club. He's in the DNA there. So he takes his rugby really seriously as well. As you say, he's maybe not looking to move on to that next level, but he's looking to be the best he can be for this club. As we see, I think Andrew Mitchell's coming on. Good young talent this as well. Big man.
Tough one for Cammy Scott. They took their time just assessing the injury and just making sure he was okay, and it's always a pleasing sight to see a player get back up, be able to walk off unaided. Andrew Mitchell is on. So the concern for the Southern Knights is they are dipping into their bench early. A couple of early problems for them.
It changes the dynamics of the Southern Knights backline this, but it certainly doesn't weaken it. Andrew Mitchell will cause different problems for Heriot.
Callum Marshall takes well. Get the ball round. They've gone too early. The ball is back with Michael Linus. Linus at the back, trying to push their way forward. Heriot's looking for the third try. It's about the splinter. Over they go, and they've got it. Well, the referee has said it's held up. Well, from our angle, we thought he got over there, but the referee decided it was held up. And it will be a goal line dropout. That's the new law this year. Heriot's thought they'd got this down.
Sorry.
Michael Linus, the referee was in good position here, Kieran, just to check it was okay, but the referee had forgotten there was a penalty advantage. It would have been a goal line dropout. Just gently reminded by Ian Wilson there, excuse me ref, we were on a penalty advantage.
Very polite from the Heriots captain there. Well done, Ian Wilson. And they go again. Good body height from Michael Linus there. In contrast, he's learned his lesson, and he shoulda, woulda, coulda, but they get another shot at it.
So, referee just explaining they don't have to kick it out of play from the penalty, they'll just award the line out. Heriot's line out so far tonight has been fairly reliable. Marshall is the target man, and again he takes it from Linus. Good throw, and there comes the maul again, up at the back. Well, they've got it moving, and they're adding players again, although the Southern Knights thought they'd splintered it off, but Heriot's will go again, advantage again. The ball looked like it'd been taken over by James Head, but again, here come Heriot setting up once more. They do have the advantage, trying to bludgeon their way over. We'll play it back. Marshall is there, but we'll play it into Chamberlain. Chamberlain spots the gap, goes himself, and the referee looks. Is he going to give it? He has a look and has given it. Again, from an angle, it looked like he'd got it down. The referee just took his time. That's the right thing to do. Nathan Chamberlain goes over, and Nathan Chamberlain scores the third try of the match for Heriot inside 20 minutes.
Yeah, you would say Southern Knights, in terms of their strength and in terms of their DNA, you'd say that forward pack and driving mauls, defending driving mauls. Heriot's taking them on at their own game there, and really good work for the forward pack. Good driving maul, good speed of ball, good low body height, forcing that defence to converge around it, and then shipping out to the backs, going back down the blind side. And Nathan Chamberlain, as we spoke about early on, seeing that gap, all the experience, he's more than comfortable to take that. Great finish, Ben Blaine in the right spot. Heriot's get their third try of the night.
Well, what a game so far. Nathan Chamberlain got the winning penalty kick against Watsonian, scores a try in the Super 6 for the first time. Heriot's third try, and he's looking to increase the gap to 12 points. And if Southern Knights were looking for a challenge, boy, do they have one. Here come the runners, just trying to hurry the kicker at the end, and he's got that one over. Well, what a start to this game it has been. Kieran Beattie alongside me, Scotland Sevens head coach, currently working with the Edinburgh Academy. This is not the game I was expecting, Kieran, I have to tell you.
It's not, but I think we're all delighted by that as well. It's been really open stuff, and it's going to force Southern Knights. I mean, they'll not panic. They've got plenty of experience on there. And as I say, Heriots have been the dominant team by far, and they're still in touching distance here. So they'll not panic. They'll steady the ship, go back to basics, and they'll try and get some points on the board.
Taken well by Jenkins, loves to gather and run, and he's found his way through almost up to the 22, almost got the offload onto Cammy Jones. Ball was knocked on, and the initial knock on by White, and then Heriot's knocked on, so they come back for the original offence. But yeah, Joe Jenkins tucks that ball underneath and gives it a go every time.
Yeah, he likes a run. I think he thinks to run first, kick is the last option, which is great to see in a fullback actually, and the pitch here lends to that as well. And I think with the wind the way it is as well, it's maybe a good option on a night like tonight. But yeah, he's not scared, is he? If he sees half a gap, he's going to go, and he's got two quick wingers outside him that'll just run onto it as well.
Is that his Sevens experience coming to the fore there?
I'm probably biased. I think anybody that touches the Sevens pitch is got a bit of magic in their feet. It just seems to bring the best out in players. As I say, slightly biased. But
you're allowed to be, we don't mind. So they put in from Alex Ball. Callum Marshall is at 8. He'll take the pick up onto Ball. Ball plays it inside onto Kay. Kay up towards the 22. Now pull back onto Chamberlain. Chamberlain got plenty in behind that, and that's going to drift out of play. There's no chance on that occasion for Freddie Ursley to keep the ball in. Then all the way up to the halfway line. And what Andrew Kelly, the Heriots head coach, would be delighted at, they're doing the basics correctly, and that's been one of the problems that he mentioned to me in the interview earlier, Kieran, that the fundamentals at times have let them down.
They're doing the basics very well, but they're also being ambitious with it. That's in no way are they playing conservative. They're reading cues of the defence, they're passing into space, If the defence is set, they're kicking and they're clearing their territory. It's clever play, and again, Southern Knights.
It's just not working. Russell Anderson on the overthrow, couldn't be taken properly. Ball has it onto Chamberlain. Chamberlain to McMichael, onto Kay. Kay looks to see where his options are. He's got Callum Young. Now he can move. He steps inside. Pick her. And now just gets bundled out of play. So again, from the a little bit of afters coming. It was Callum Young's foot came up there, and that just sparks off a little melee on that far side, and gets pulled out eventually. Godsmark, and the referee will have a little word here with Callum Young. Let's just listen to Ben Blaine's quite softly spoken. Let's see what he says here.
Yeah, line for you, Thomas. We're inside.
Yeah, very quiet, just a quiet word. Sometimes actions speak louder than words. Going down that route. But again, just to come back to the point I was making, the clearance kick, it's on the halfway line, it's your throw, and all of a sudden you lose it, and now you're defending on your 22 looking for an exit play.
Yes, I mean, with Jason Baggett's hardly had an influence in the game yet, and we speak about him more often than not. In most games, his forward pack unfortunately haven't been on song yet. As soon as they get a foothold in the game, I'm sure we'll see him come into it and then start controlling territories. He's lost his wingman in Cammy Scott, so he's going to take a bit more on his shoulders, as we see here.
The kick is charged down. It was well done by Marshall. It came into McMichael and then was into the hands of Robert Kay. So again, the turnover affected by Heriot's. Southern Knights not doing the basics well at the moment. There's the little flip pass inside. Heriots have got a licence to play rugby tonight. Linus, there's a little chuck back. Just get the referee out of the way any way you can.
No foul play, lad.
No foul play. Player was falling down into the challenge. Now Fraser Hasty trying to lead his way through, but the turnover is good. Advantage is over after the knock on, and a little knock round the corner. Heriots go back and gather. It's Marshall right down below. Baggett swallows him up. Marshall on his back plays the ball back. Linus into Anderson, and there's the little chip over the top. It's nicely done by Ball, trying to chase after it is Cooper. Jenkins comes onto it and he's going to be almost dragged out. Sejak was trying to get him out. Well played Jenkins for staying in, and there's the mistake, there's the drop. Came that time from Angus Runciman. So again, a tale of two knock-ons, but it's the first one for the offence, and it's going to be put into Heriot, who are having a terrific opening 27 minutes here at the Greenyards.
I think Bob Christie will be pulling his hair out of this one. Yeah, with the context of what's happened before, we keep speaking about it, they just need a foothold in the game here. They've got control of the ball there, they just need to set that up and almost play conservatively, get the ball down there, and then they can bring these attacking backs into the game. But it gives Heriots another shot. I've been very impressed with Callum Marshall so far. Great start from him. He's been really competent. He's always beating that first defender, doing his basics really well. He seems to have, I don't know how many times he's touched the ball already, but great start for the number 8.
Crouch! Bind!
The referee doesn't like it.
Pre-engaged in the middle.
They're pre-engaged in the middle. Russell Anderson and Michael Linus joining too quickly. What's also pleasing so far is, despite the fact that they have the lead, Heriot's ethos hasn't changed. They're still going to attack the Southern Knights. It's not like they think, oh well, we've got a lead, we could try and defend it, because, well, that would be daft against the side as talented as Southern Knights, but sometimes you regress to that unintentionally.
Absolutely, you're spot on there, and it's great that they aren't. I mean, there's so long to go in this game, and also it's working for them, so they need to keep going with it, and they need to take what they can from this spell, because Southern Knights will come back into this game, there's no doubt about it.
Ball into the middle. Kay tries to go really direct, plays the ball back, ball again. Linus is there, that's an outrageous flick onto James Cooper. Cooper trying to find the corner, he was well tackled, gets the ball back inside. McMichael is there, he's going to be pushed out of play. Well, the number of outrageous little flicks and tricks and passes that Heriots are trying to pull off, it's making defending them really, really difficult, but it's terrific to watch.
I just thought, what is he doing throwing that ball in his face like that? And there he is, the electric James Cooper from nowhere. Oh yeah, fantastic. Michael Linus, fair play to you. You know, he can do a bit of everything, this man. He's happy with the grunt and the contact work, but look at that, the no-look pass, a bit of the Finn Russell's about him. Fair play.
I think Finn Russell will be given a wee call just to check on where he got those skills from. And you've got to give credit as well to Hugh McLaren for getting back to make the covering tackle. I mean, that was good work from him.
Yeah, he's dynamic. He's, you know, he wears a number 3, but he's a dynamic player. He's been excellent, actually, hasn't he, in this campaign, and that's not the first time we've seen his athleticism for the big man. So fair play, he's kept his team in that one from what would have been an absolute belter of a try. But can Southern Knights exit from this tight channel now?
29 minutes gone. Southern Knights scored in the opening 2 minutes. Alan Ferry with the try. It seems like a million years ago at the moment. Heriots have roared back, take control of this game. They're enjoying the rugby. And the scrum down. Cameron Jones needs to get this one in and away. Heriots will certainly try and put pressure on. Cameron Jones been on the bench for the last 6. Started week 1 against Stirling County. He's delighted to get back in the starting 15.
He started well, Cameron Jones. You know, he's got Murdo McAndrew with all the experience in the bench here, which I'm sure he'll make an appearance at some stage to control the game. But good start for the young man.
That was taking a while to come round. Heriots turning, and so too the referee thought Southern Knights were there. The Dark Arts is scrummaging just when they just turn. You're never sure whether the referee's going to give it for a team, you know, deliberately trying to wheel. You're never sure.
Yeah, I was hoping you weren't going to ask me anything about the scrum, if I'm honest. There's 8 of them, I know that. Saying that, when you're coaching 7s, you're coaching all facets of the game, but you can blag things as well, and I do that quite well with that scrum and line out. But we've got Dan Gamble in there. Great to see him playing and back on the pitch. He's had a tough time with injury. A really talented young man. He's had a couple of games from Edinburgh, and he's in this Edinburgh Academy. Great to see him playing. Hopefully he gets a good run. And this is his bread and butter here.
Dalton Redpath into contact, and then the kick comes in. It's not out, and it's trying to return it again. Here's Cooper dancing his way inside. I think there's a penalty advantage coming through Wilson. Chamberlain on to Kay. Kay gets it out. Here comes the fullback Ross Jones. Jones on to McMichael. McMichael should have held that himself. I thought they'd actually opened it up. The advantage is over as Callum Young comes in, and I think that's possibly the first mistake as the two players embrace Dalton Redpath and Callum Young. I think that's the first mistake that Heriots have made when playing it wide.
Yeah, we've just been talking Rory McMichael up, haven't we, in terms of his decision making. It's probably the first time he's been a bit more tentative on the ball there, and he's tried to put the ball on his foot when actually he's been doing so well when he's just been driving through that line and offloading and using his support runners there. So I think his mates will be getting behind him there and just saying, look, you're going well, just do what you're good at, because you're providing us good go forward at the minute.
Angus Runciman is going to receive just a little bit of treatment and then hopefully get back up and around. And the other there was so much in that move. There was the heavy tackle, you know, and Dalton Redpath coming out, but again James Cooper showing great balance to step back inside and keep the attack alive rather than being driven out. As Heriots will take on some fluids. The referee has decided that was possibly the wrong thing to do, and wants the water carriers back off the field of play. Southern Knights leading by 12. Only 32 minutes gone. The referee wasn't too happy with the scrum came together last time. Linus waits for Russell Anderson. Cameron Jones gets ready to put the ball in. It's the scrummage man is used to form.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Plenty of noise from the front rows as the scrum goes round, but it's Heriots who were wheeling it on that occasion.
Straight round the corner.
Chris Keane coming round the corner, and
One
that
blue,
the penalty
not
awarded. And Southern Knights have a chance, Kieran, to clear their lines here and get themselves set up for a line-out. But the line-out has not been a surefire thing.
It's not, and as we keep saying, it's been a real strength of theirs, hasn't it, over this campaign. Russell Anderson, you know, he's a really competent hooker. He's got time in the championship. He's got all the experience. Something's not quite firing there for them tonight. I know they've got a bit of a shuffle about in the pack there, but so do Heriots here. So I don't know. Again, I'm no expert, but I think they'll be back to basics, simple calls, good drills, good lifts. Let's just get the ball. Don't worry about where they're taking it. Get the ball, hold on to it, and get this foothold in the game.
Watching the Dogs, watching the rugby. It's not a bad Friday night. Although the Dogs don't seem to be impressed by the home side so far. Oh, the ball is away. Ian Wilson did really well to hold up there. Now the ball is loose. Here come the Southern Knights. That's a great angled run, and he's away. Jones looking for some support. Oh, he falls into the tackle. That was Jones on Jones. That was a clear slip, and the referee communicates that. Now there's an opportunity for Joe Jenkins to move, taken down by Callum Young. Glad to say that Cameron Jones is okay. Turnover was good, and now again the clearing kick was long and good, drops down below us. That's a great example of the new laws and what the referees have got to deal with in real time. There is no VAR in this game. He was up with play, he saw that the tackler Ross Jones was coming in legally, and Cameron Jones slipped and fell into the tackle, and then it looked really bad.
Yeah, Ben Blaine explaining himself there in the decision there. Great experience for Ben Blaine. He's, you know, again, he's reffed at a very high level here. So, as you say, he's on money every time, and he's explained himself, and it's great to see Cameron Jones is fine. Great break from him initially as well. Great little break, great planned move, and fair play to Cameron Jones as well for not giving a pass, probably a pre-planned move. He's seen space, he's taken it, and he's kept his foot down.
The ball is with Angus Runciman at the back. Now he'll hand that ball off. Anderson is going in. Runciman says he's being held up. It splinters off. Here comes the advantage for taking it down. It's a penalty advantage to the Knights. Jones has it. Jones gets it in field. First time we've really seen Andrew Mitchell on the ball. Mitchell, oh, he's done brilliantly. He's taken down by Chamberlain. 5 metres short. Jones gets it across, going through his Baggett. And the Southern Knights managed to cut Heriots apart there. Lovely little quick pass across, and Jason Baggett goes in for the try. It's the Southern Knights' second try of the game. It's Southern Knights 12, Heriots 19, with a conversion attempt to come.
Yeah, we see the contrast there. We've got Cammy Scott, who's unfortunately had to leave the game early. He's a lovely ball player, lovely kicker. You bring Andrew Mitchell into the game, probably forced, but that's what he offers, isn't he? He is straight up and down. He's a tough man to put down, and he has broken that Heriots defensive line that Southern Knights have struggled to do for 35 minutes. First touch of the ball, I think, and he's absolutely splintered them and given Jason Baggett that opportunity to go under the sticks.
Yeah, Robert Kay could do little to keep him out, and over it goes. So it now comes to the conversion, and we'll see. Jason Baggett should be an easy add-on. And pops it through. Both fly halves on the score sheet, converting their own tries. And we have a 5-point game once more.
Andrew Mitchell rode that first tackle really well, and he just did not stop. I think he was wanting to try himself, wasn't it? But he's got the presence of mind to put the ball back. Jason Baggett, he's not shy of contact either, is he?
No, he was relishing that as he went over. Patrick Anderson trying to crab his way forward, and I'm not quite sure why he didn't just stop there.
Extra crawl on the floor. Extra crawl.
It's not often you see a penalty given for extra crawl on the floor, but that's precisely what the referee did. He obviously felt he wasn't held.
It's not, you don't see it very often, but when it's as blatant as that, I don't think Ben Blaine would like to give those, but Again, he's in the right position. It's pretty obvious, and again they've handed that back to Heriot after getting that try. And you know, as we say, Heriots have been the better team. Southern Knights are still only 5 points behind, which is typical of them, but they put themselves under pressure here.
Yeah, to put that referee's decision in context, even I would have spotted that one. As the ball comes in, Heriots have taken it. In at the back is Ian Wilson. One stop, it's been well dealt with by the Knights, and they're going to have to try and bring this out unless they can get it moving. Robin Sadiak trying to add his bulk, and they are getting it forward again. Marshall in there as well. Oh, they're still moving it forward. They've got to be careful they're not dragged out, and that's exactly what the Southern Knights were trying, but they have smuggled it back in field. Knights thought they had a turnover and the penalty, playing the ball on the floor. Off the feet, down he went, played it on the floor, and that, from a Heriot's perspective, is a poor piece of rugby.
Yeah, you'd back them off the first 35 minutes. You'd back them to score a miraculous try here, but the game's just sort of getting away from them a little bit, considering they've been so dominant. Southern Knights, I think, will, in some respect, could be the happier team heading into this half time.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point. I mean, Andrew Kelly, you're disappointed that his side have not managed to execute on the last couple of plays where they've had opportunities, and even if you could, find yourself with a penalty, just get yourself 8 points ahead, better than a converted try. Just give yourself that little cushion, but it's not to be so far. Knights going, better take this time. Taken at the back by Dalton Redpath.
Out!
Scrum half being told to get out. Michael Linus fronts up, gets some help from Chris Keane.
6, don't change.
Hasty driving in there as well. It's still in the hands of Russell Anderson.
That's just a tackle.
Tackle is made, presented back inside the final few seconds of the first half, and there's the drop. Alan Ferry was looking ahead to see what his options were and didn't bring it under control, and the referee decides that is it, half time here at the Greenyards. And what a half of rugby it's been between the Southern Knights and Heriots. Absolutely electric stuff. Ian Wilson just has a little word with the referee as he wanders off the field of play, but it has been terrific. Kieran Beatty's been watching it alongside me. That's been a real treat of a first half, Kieran.
Yeah, brilliant. Heriot's outstanding in terms of their attacking intent. They've really come into this game with some real pace and taking opportunities, especially in that first 20 minutes. At that point, we're going, look, these guys are going to be really happy with this. But as we've just touched on there, it's a 5-point ball game, and they've been the most dominant team by far. Southern Knights, as we've said, ruthless, getting that 22 2-3 times, and they've got 14 points.
Let's have a look at the tries again. 14 points to 19 is the half-time scoreline, but we've been treated to some fantastic rugby, and boy did this game start quickly. Alan Ferry getting the opening try. The pass across, Chamberlain makes a terrific tackle here, and the ball pops up and it just doesn't work for him, and there's Ferry, and from the 22 he goes underneath the posts. Wasn't held, the tap tackle was attempted by Robert Kate, but that was good play, and I have to confess I feared for Heriots at that point.
Yeah, you did. That's typical Southern Knights. Like all good sevens, he's on any loose ball there after some good play from Heriot's. Great defensive work for Nathan Chamberlain, and as you say, you thought it looked ominous within the first minute, but that wasn't to be the case, was it?
So that was the perfect start for the home side. Jason Baggett with the conversion. Heriots were looking for a quick response, and watch Alex Ball. Where's Knight? Went backwards, and then he just threw the little dummy to get away from Sean Gunn, and then he was away. He's been pursued initially by Jenkins and then by Baggett, and boy did he move away quickly. Created the opportunity for himself, but I have to be honest, he's still a heck of a lot of work to do.
He did. He's beat Joe Jenkins at the back there, who, as we've touched on, has a fair bit of pace, and Jason Baggett as well, which he's no slouch as well, but he knows exactly what he's doing. As soon as that ball bobbles out the back there, he's manipulated Sean Gunn there at one, and he's just taken that space, and a fantastic finish from the number 9.
So the Heriot's game plan was to pass and move quickly, try and get the wingers involved, and this was a thing of beauty. Breaking through was Ross Jones. Jones had Cooper on the outside of him, timed it perfectly to draw the pass, and from the 22 nobody was going to stop James Cooper. Nonchalant with a little touchdown, and Heriots had come from behind to lead at that point by 17 points to 7, and it was terrific rugby.
Yeah, they were playing so well at this stage, weren't they? It just seemed everything they touched was turning into gold. Rory McMichael at the heart of everything, running really hard, taking the ball to defensive line, and as we'd said, Ross Jones, he's a lovely footballer, just picks that line, picks that hole, and he doesn't stop running. Great score for James Cooper.
This was the third try which Nathan Chamberlain was to score and convert to make it a 12-point game. He wasn't going to be stopped. They'd been stopped previously, and the referee had then given the penalty because it was an advantage play. But he came in again very strong, Nathan Chamberlain, his first Super 6 try.
Forwards had suffered them up there, giving him a good platform. His backs had worked round the corner there and created a bit of space, but great finish from him. This
was an important score, Kieran. Just they managed to get forward, and it was Andrew Mitchell who broke his way through, trying to get away from the tackle of Rory Leishman, and then Jason Baggett was there. Good scrum half play. You arrive quickly, you give the offload, and Jason Baggett crashed his way through.
Yeah, he's been good, Cameron Jones, hasn't he? He's been at the ball every time. As you say, he's had a couple of line breaks. He's made good decisions. And although Southern Knights have been on the back foot, he's been a bit of a star for them. But Andrew Mitchell off the bench, this kid's a talent. He's a talent, and he is a strong runner, and he's shown his prowess there. Jason Baggett, not your typical 10. He does not mind getting stuck in there at contact, and he'll take that one.
He was delighted going through there without any doubt whatsoever. It's been a cracking game so far here at the Green Yards between the Southern Knights and Heriots. Tomorrow evening, Scotland women play a huge game in Italy. It's their final Rugby World Cup Europa qualifier. They'll play Ireland, with the most likely scenario being that the winner of that game will either progress straight to next year's Rugby World Cup, which is in New Zealand. What a treat that would be, or compete in a further qualification tournament. We'll talk about the permutations and what might happen, but let's have a look back at the highlights of Scotland's impressive win over Spain from last weekend.
Advantage. And set. Stay. Advantage. Number 5, 7, 2. Advantage. Number 5, 7, 2. Sorry.
And what a terrific win that was for Scotland women. And tomorrow they will face Ireland. And what is a really important game. Stevie Gemmell, the tournament director of the Super 6, joins me. We'll talk Super 6 in a moment, but just watching the Scotland women's team, it was a really gutsy performance against Spain.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. Very, very courageous. You know, the game started poorly for them and they got themselves back into it. Massive pressure because they knew that if they hadn't won that game, they were effectively out of the running. So no, very courageous, great defensive effort in the last 2 or 3 minutes to hold Spain out and all to play for tomorrow against Ireland.
It's complicated in terms of who can go what and do where, but we'll just get down to basics. Scotland have to win, and they'll worry about, you know, whether they go through or whether they have to go into a secondary tournament to get there.
No, absolutely. So a win guarantees their dream of going to the World Cup still alive, and then it will be determined on the result of the Italy-Spain game as to whether they finish top or they finish runners-up.
We wish them all the very best. Helen Nielsen, Jay Conkle and co going out against Ireland. We hope they do well. Stevie, from the Super 6 this season, I think this game has summed it up. We've seen some terrific rugby. How pleased are you?
Yeah, look, I'm delighted. You know, it was a stop-start as it has been for everybody in the last 18 months. You know, we got the first tournament underway, and there was lots of positive things coming out of that first tournament, and then obviously COVID hit. But in terms of how all of the teams have approached, you know, this tournament's been magnificent. Everybody's been able to beat everybody. That's the beauty of it. And there's certainly a step up in intensity and accuracy, you know, in the game so far.
Speaking to some of the coaches and a couple of players, they mention that they can feel the level. It's almost growing every week, and I guess that's a real satisfaction for you to see.
Yeah, you know, it was brought in to help bridge that gap from, you know, club rugby into the professional game. And I think when you watch the games, it mirrors the professional game in terms of the intent, the accuracy, and how teams are trying to play. And you know, I think it's only going to continue to build. And as we've seen here tonight, the first half has demonstrated the good and bad. You know, Southern Knights will be disappointed the level of mistakes they've made, which have allowed Heriot to be in the game and to capitalise.
And we've seen, and you mentioned it, anybody can beat anybody, and that's been a secret of the tournament. We're delighted you joined us, Stevie. Thank you very much for that. We'll hopefully speak to you again before too long as we get ready to get the second half underway. Thank you very much. So we get ready to get underway for the second half. Southern Knights against Heriot. What a first half we had, and we're underway at the start of the second half. Last season of the Super 6, Heriot's won here by 19 points to 12. They lead here by 19 points to 14 at the start of the second half. So the Southern Knights led by Rob Christie, Andrew Kelly's Heriot's side. Southern Knights, the men from Melrose, all white. Heriot's their traditional navy and white boots. It's set long. Marshall misjudged that, and the chaser was in front, so that is going to be a penalty. And there's a mistake from the Southern Knights, and Heriots were thinking about going quickly. I just wonder if they might think about popping the points over here, or are they going to try and keep the pressure on? There's a question we can ask if Kieran Beattie is back alongside me here in the commentary box at the Green Yards, and the answer is I think they're going to go for the corner.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, what are the two coaches said at half time? Really interesting first half. You you praising Southern Knights for staying in the fight, or are you disappointed by the way they played? Likewise as Andrew Kelly in that half time saying to their Heriot's boys, we need to be taking more points. We've been the most dominant team and we're only 5 points clear. So, or is he praising the way they're playing? It's going to be some interesting dynamics in the second half here.
Taken well by Rory Leishman.
Use it!
Leishman. Now they're gathering, being told to use it. There's the splinter. The referee was happy there was no problem there. Ball gets the ball through the hands. Sejak tries to make his way through. Well taken down by the Southern Knights. Now it's pulled back. That's a good take by Chamberlain. Chamberlain on the inside onto Kay. Kay's going to send a long pass out wide. Marshall, the number 8, is there. Shows good hands. Drives in. Needs some support. Now it will come back again. Sejak and Hasty, the tag team at lock. Oh, Chamberlain. Out it goes. Well held up was Leishman. Godsmark was in there. Patrick Anderson as well. And Wilson steps over. Now it comes on to Chamberlain. Chamberlain with the offload. On to Kay. Kay taken, driven down well. And again, presents the ball back well. Hasty goes in, tries to get the better. Oh, Sean Gunn. Back onto ball once more. It's good possession from Heriot's. Chamberlain on the runner. Sejak gets his way through. Taken down by Runciman. Good tempo start to the second half. And the men from Goldenacre. Chamberlain gets her out. There's the little inside pass from McMichael. Onto the fullback Jones. Good play for the Southern Knights to drive them back. Dan Gamble, ball in hand. Chamberlain, little offload onto Kay. Godsmark took him down. Referee wondered if that might have been a bit of a tip. Referee happy. And he's in a good angle to see it. Ball again. Has a look to see if there's going to be a gap, but it was closed neatly by Anderson. Now Chamberlain plays it through. Oh, there's the ball just bouncing the wrong way. Jenkins has to chase after it. He'll kick that into open field. Bruno Sejak says, I'll take that. Now runs his way forward, just bounces the full-back away.
It's been great discipline from Southern Knights here. Heriot's throwing the kitchen sink at them and they're staying in the fight. It's a big moment this in the game actually. I know it's early doors, but
there's the kick through again.
Great kick.
This is going to be taken, it's going to be knocked on, and the referee might give that. And he's going to play the advantage momentarily. That's twice Heriots have kicked it through, and I think that's right. It's a sign just a little bit of desperation that they weren't puncturing the way through.
Yeah, they found space though. Oh, and
there's no advantage. No advantage, always under pressure. Knock on.
He's coming back for something here. Knock on.
He's going to come back for the original knock on. Actually, I think Southern Knights are a little bit fortunate there because I thought the time had passed enough, but they're not going to be penalised for that rare error from Jason Baggett. What a start to the second half.
I think we're thankful it's kept going, really, haven't we? Great first half, and we're seeing early signs that it's going to continue. In great defence from Southern Knights there, but Heriot's, they couldn't find their way through, so they found space in other ways in that kicking game, and it's going to put them under stress, and that might just make the back three set off a bit more, which might open a bit more space in the front line. So it's a bit of chess at the minute, and not a bad option from Heriot's there. Southern Knights stood tall and managed to come away with the ball.
Same front row as it started the game. Gunn, Anderson, McLaren up against Keenliners and Gamble. It's well taken that time. That's a good tackle by a ball coming round. Trying to keep the pressure on Southern Knights. Here's Baggett. Oh, it's a beautiful little Jenkins. He's trying to find space. There's the offload onto Jenkins. Moving back. Now what can Sampakir do? Sampakir, former Scotland Sevens international player. There's the answer. He's a big unit, moves his way forward. Cooper took him down, and all of a sudden they're by the halfway line. Good tackling by the locks of Heriots. Well, Fikir's not seen the ball too much, but when he has, he's made a couple of great runs. Now back to Jones. Runciman into contact. Jones once more through the hands of Baggett. There's the prop, Sean Gunn. Gathered again on that far side. Baggett trying to find a little gap. It's a beautiful little offload by Mitchell, and here's the chance. The ball on the inside is tremendous. And here comes Owsley looking to see if he can get past his man. He's going to go all the way in himself. What a start to his rugby career. That's outrageous from Freddie Owsley. And he gets mobbed by his teammates, he gets mobbed by the replacements. That is a touch of genius to which Heriot's had no answer.
Did he get the third gear there? I don't even know. He just looks like he glides. It's sickening sometimes watching people like that, isn't it? Fantastic. That's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see him in a bit of space, and geez, what a finish that is. But great work down the touchline. Paddy Anderson again. He's a little terrier, isn't he? He just keeps breaking tackles, keeps getting his hands free. And Southern Knights, they weathered the early storm there from Heriot's. They've went up the other end of the pitch and they come away with points. And suddenly, out of 45 minutes have we played, they've probably had 5 minutes of decent pressure. It's 19-all, and this is just typical Southern Knights, isn't it? In terms of this season, they're ruthless, absolutely ruthless in terms of taking points, and what a finish that is.
He looked like a man who knew he was going to score the second he entered the 22. That's a terrific piece of play. Well, the Rugby certainly hasn't disappointed tonight. Here's Jason Baggett to try and give his side the lead. Remember, they trail by 19 points to 7. Gets the kick away. I think he's pulled that slightly to the right, but it's just gone in and no more. Well, that was as close as they come. Andrew Mitchell's having a great game.
Great impact off the bench. Really good impact off the bench. He's just doing what he does really well, and that's drawing defenders with his physicality, straight line running, and he's actually got a bit of football about him as well. He can put the ball through his hands. He's not simply a crash ball centre. He's got a bit of rugby as well. So, no, great impact in the game.
So Southern Knights have the advantage. And they're looking for the exit strategy.
Use it!
Jones up, Marshall again, drops deep, manages to hold on to it. It's another good take. The hands have been gold plated tonight. It comes through the hands of Kay. Kay spotted a gap. God Smart will put him down. But Michael goes in there. It's back with ball. Ball on the inside. There's Chris Keane running ready to rumble. Ball again. Good support play from Ross Jones. Marshall. Oh, Jones again. They're doing well. They're advancing past the gain line, Heriot. They're not always being knocked back here. There's Hasty with a little offload onto Marshall. That was clever, dragged down by James Head. Now here's Chamberlain. Chamberlain spots the gap, goes for it, turns, presents, ball. Hasty barrels his way into the 22. Jones again coming in at first receiver. McMichael plays it out now. There's going to be a decision here from the referee. It's a penalty. And is it a yellow card? It is. You could tell the arm was coming out from Freddie Oslick, and that arm coming out, he wasn't going to get in to get the ball and bring it in cleanly, and the referee deems that as deliberate in the first yellow card of the game.
Yeah, I think you've got to take the context of where they are on the pitch in terms of that and the space they had outside them and the potential opportunity there. Unless Freddie Elsley catches that ball, that's a yellow card every day of the week. And Heriot's again stringing good phases together. They're stressing them. They actually look, they're a bit of a same way team, but sometimes when they're getting knocked behind the gain line, it's forcing them to go blind, and it doesn't look like it's part of their DNA, but it's actually stressing Southern Knights more than actually just hitting touchlines and going the same way. So I'm sure Andrew Kelly, Finn Gillis, Scott Riddell, the coaches will pick up on that, and those messages will be coming on. Chamberlain leading and pulling the strings there, he'll be picking these things up as well. And they'll just try and ask different questions of the Southern Knight defence.
It's been all tries and conversions to this point. Here's the penalty attempt from Nathan Chamberlain. Off the post it goes and drifts its way behind, so a missed opportunity. I was going to say to you, Kieran, that it wasn't sort of Monday morning quarterback stuff, but I wondered if they should have kicked the first penalty they got at the start of the second half, just to give yourself that 8-point gap.
Yeah, we spoke about it, isn't it? That 8 points is huge. It's just a little buffer, and it's just a seed of doubt in the trailing team's mind as well. So he'll be disappointed in that, actually, Chambo. he uses the full 90 seconds of his kicking routine usually, and that was a bit rushed, that one, so I don't know whether he was a bit comfortable there, took his bit quicker than his normal routine and just pulled it.
Just to add to the fun of the evening, Heriot's make 5 replacements at one time. So it's a change at 10. Houston is now on. There's a whole new front row as well. We'll introduce you into them very soon. Here come Heriots. Kay sends it on to McMichael. And the penalty will come. Not moving away from the Heriots perspective. So Messrs Fenton, Nimmo and Scott will replace Keane, Linus and Gamble. Bruce Houston is also on as well.
It's good confidence from Andrew Kelly to, at this stage, 21-19, they're playing well, he feels comfortable in his squad, he's got confidence in his squad to make these changes at this point, because it'd be quite easy to sit tight and stick with the guys that are on there, but fair play to him.
That is launched long into the Melrose sky, onto the bank on the far side. That's a good kick once more by Jason Baggett.
How many fellas? The time's off.
Wanders his way up to make the call. He's going to have a new scrum half. Murdo McAndrew has come on. And he was replaced. Cameron Jones.
He's done well, Cameron Jones, actually. He's been the understudy to an experienced Murdo McAndrew in this campaign, but he's taken his opportunity tonight. He should be really proud of his efforts, and give Bob Christie food for thought in the next game, I'm sure.
6 tries on the match so far. An entertaining evening in the Green Yard. Stay with us. Lots more rugby to come between those two. And Heriots get the advantage there. Southern Knights took it in, can't get it out, and that's good play from Heriots. It's not easy when you're coming off as a brand new front 3, but all of the front 3 were involved there, holding up that maul and making sure that the scrum would go their way.
Yeah, good call from Andrew Kelly, keeping it fresh there, so he's got fresh legs on, and he's hoping to keep the momentum going for his side as well. So this will be interesting to see how this goes. Obviously, new front row. Do they get some dominance here, or will it go the other way?
The voice of Kieran Beattie, Scotland head coach at Sevens level.
Hero 5.
And he gets ready to get this one in.
So the Knights down a man, defending here. They've got their open side winger up flat as well. There's this 50-22 rule as well.
Yep.
Maybe there's something Bruce Houston is looking at here in terms of the Southern Knights have only got one back. There's a lot of space back here.
Freddie Owsley is the man who is off. And of course, the longer it takes to scrum, you're just getting those precious yellow card seconds ticking away. Heriots will be eager to get things moving quickly.
Bind! Set! Head to feet! And... Pressure! Pressure! Use it!
We'll see if they try and exploit that 50-22, but they're going to run it here on the advantage. And trying to break through. Here comes the offload, and it's a brilliant piece of play from Callum Young. Can they catch him? Callum Young is going to secure the bonus point try for Heriots, and what another brilliant score it is at the Green Yards. Heriots running ethos to the fore once more, and what a finish from Callum Young.
There we are, another crack, absolute cracker again. Straight off the training ground, and Callum Young, he had it all to do. And he's great in determination and that athleticism, got him past those defenders, stretched out, and he's under the sticks. What a try that is again. It's the fine details of this. Bobby Kay just straightening up, fixing his defender. There's a young Ben Evans there with a cracking offloader. Fantastic, only his second senior game there. the confidence to do that and get through that, and that timing onto the ball, and a great finish for Callum Young, who has been excellent tonight as well.
What also tells me, Kieran, is that they're on the same page. You take off the players who've been playing well. I mean, Nathan Chamberlain and James Cooper have played exceptionally well as the kick goes through from Bruce Houston. But you bring on Bruce Houston, and there's no beat missed, from that point of view. And Ben Evans as well doing the job. So, a great ding-dong game. It's a 5-point advantage to Heriot.
Yeah, you're right. It's such a squad game nowadays that when you're sitting on the bench, you're not taking a rest. You're trying to take it all in and use that to your advantage, where you're actually tactically up to speed with the game, but you're physically fresher, so that when you do come on, you can make an impact. So fair play, well played these guys, and again, what a game we've got in our hands here.
It's a terrific match. Callum Marshall again, good take, sets Heriot's up. The Heriot's fundamentals have been much better this evening. Southern Knights made a few mistakes along the way. And there's the kick again, just making sure that it reaches touch.
I'm not going to tell you it's out.
So the night is over.
The ball was out. So you're asking me how long it doesn't really matter.
Sean Gunn and for Russell Anderson.
They'll tell you.
So Fraser Rennick, Grant Shields introduced into the action. It's not easy coming straight off the bench and having to get the throw right. Fraser Rennick, there's the first throw, good spiral, well taken by James Head. They've knocked it on.
Accidental, lads.
It's been uncharacteristic by the Southern Knights tonight, just the number of little mistakes they've made.
It is very uncharacteristic, and the good thing for us is sort of the neutral is it's kept the game very close, hasn't it? And it's kept it exciting, but they will be so frustrated with that, because as we've said all along, right at the start of the programme here, is they rely on their basics, they rely on their fundamentals, they rely on their pack here to give them a good foothold in the game. They'll squeeze the game, and then these dynamic, explosive backs can come to life off the back of it, and they've just not had that foothold for the pack, which, they've been a dominant pack throughout this league, and maybe give them 40 minutes off, but Bob Christie and Ross Ford will be not happy with this at the minute in terms of his 1 to 8. There's still time left for them to pull it round, but not great from them so far.
Well, Christie will certainly not be happy. You're trying to see it the last 2 minutes of a yellow card, 4 yellow cards and 7 coming into tonight. Heriot's trying to make them pay. Here's Callum Young again, immediately looks for the offload, gets it on to Kay. Kay now sends it out wide. It's gathered on that far side. Here comes Jones barrelling his way through. They're trying to make this man advantage tell. Here's Hasty into contact, drives past Grant Shields. Ball digs for it, looks for Houston. Houston is there. He's got a great first step, but he was well marshalled on that occasion. Jason Hill was scheduled to wear 20, wears 19 tonight. There's a late change on the bench for the visitors, and the penalty will come.
First man on the ball, then
Southern Knights.
16
Again, problem on the deck. Heriots have given a couple of them away, pulling the man down who wasn't on the ball. And that is going to be an easy exit, and they should see out the last 20 seconds and get back to 15 aside.
Good work from Fraser Rennick. He's like most modern hookers, he's good on the floor, he's good at that contact breakdown, almost a second 7 on the pitch. He's certainly in that mould, and he's a bit fresher coming off the bench there, and a great steal. He rode the contact well there, and it's a big penalty for his team there.
It's an interesting point you make. You used to be hookers had to be able to obviously hook, and that's part of the whole point of it, and keep the scrum together. The line out throw as well was very important, but that almost the Jacqueline is almost in there as well, and being that second 7, and you start to see that with the better hookers. Of course, he's got Ross Ford to try and guide him here as well, the assistant here at the Greenyards for the Southern Knights, so he's got a good guide.
Exactly, it's not a bad mentor, is it, to have working with him day in, day out, but he takes the role really well, and again he's been good at that in this campaign as well.
It's the contest on that occasion for the Owsley is back on the field of play. The ball just popped out. It's going to be sent round the corner. It's got a kind bounce for Callum Young. Callum Young trying to take on Jason Baggett, and then Patrick Anderson comes in very harsh as well. He's played well since coming on. Another little dip of the shoulder in Heriot's. Again, adventurous, trying to move out the own 22. Next ball, finds his namesake. The ball, and Bruce Houston gets it away, but the offside line had been breached. I think Bruce Houston had realised that. He was quite happy to get the kick away, but he felt the penalty coming.
Casual dip of the shoulder for Bruce Houston and just popping on his lesser preferred left foot, and probably a better strike than any of us could do as well. So such is the talent of the bloke.
And that's such an advantage, you know, when you're in that position, having to come out knowing that you're confident of either foot.
He's shown masses of confidence in this competition. He does everything with a bit of a smile on his face as well, which is great to see. He looks like he really enjoys his rugby, enjoying his time at Heriot.
Off the bench for only the second time. He's started 6th time this season. So the Southern Knights have won 5 out of 7. They drew away at Stirling County. They lost at Watsonis. They've been perfect on their home surface. 23 tries in 7 games coming into this one. They've netted 3 tonight, but they've conceded 4. It's again well taken. They set them all up.
No!
And then at the back, Kenny Fenton. Kenny Fenton's got a man in behind him. It's Jason Hill. And it's still going.
That's beautiful!
Well, they're calling for it to say it was tripped up. Jason Hill's going to break off to the left-hand side, trying to pull him down as Grant Shields. Referee was happy that the maul came down naturally. Heriot's again quick on the ball. Here's Marshall, drives his way through. His shoulder down past Dalton Redpath. Out it comes again. Fenton in there. There's Hill. Hill tried the little offload. Back to Ball. Ball sends it through. 18 is Josh Scott. Heriot's look dangerous every time they come into the 22, and the next defence has been stretched. Houston inside onto McMichael. McMichael makes good ground. Marshall tries to hold him.
No, it's backwards.
Hill, the offload onto Hasty, dragged down, and the ball has gone forward. There's 2 Southern Knights players down. Well, they've defended stoutly, Kieran, but it's coming at a cost. I mean, the physical side of this game is immense.
It is, and I think that's credit to Heriot's in terms of their ambition to attack. They're going to knock on, they're going to give penalties away because they're trying to play with pace and they're trying to move the ball about. And Southern Knights are having to defend at their best here to keep these guys out. And at times it hasn't worked. You know, 4 tries. And I mean, Southern Knights, they do not concede 4 tries in a game normally. So it just shows the ambition and the intent of Heriot's here. But we've got two teams probably really going toe to toe at this one.
I mean, this was just brilliant. I mean, they worked it hard, and you mentioned when we saw this live at Evans, his pass there, but you could see Callum Young and he's motoring away, and you know, credit to Alan Ferry to try and stick with him, so too Joe Jenkins, but it was terrific play. We've not seen a bad score tonight. I mean, it's been that simple.
No, been really lucky. Anybody down here at the Greenyards must have enjoyed their evening so far. It's been brilliant, and again, well planned move. It's a little bit of detail there. Bobby Kay just squaring up his man, and delighted for Ben there in terms of just having the confidence to go through there and release and throw the pass. And Callum Young, I mean, that, as you say, 2 quick men, Ferry and Jenkins chasing him down there. You know, they are quick men. He's got it all to do, and he outstrips both of them. So yeah, brilliant. I don't know, I'm kind of running out of words for this. It's been really good so far. Unfortunately, that looks like Andrew Mitchell has taken a bit of a dunt, who's been excellent for. Yeah, this was the previous try. I mean, it was almost 3 wingers involved because Patrick Anderson is a winger to trade, but Freddie Owsley, I mean, the swagger involved here. I mean, he's not going past people who are slouches here, but he just was convinced he was going in. So he's a former Great Britain under 20 200 metre record holder in Britain, or he won it. He's been in the senior 200 and 400. I mean, and he's 6'4" as well. He's got all the attributes He has, and I think there were question marks over his rugby potentially, and it was genuine question marks. People didn't know. He's coming at Edinburgh, and I've been fortunate enough to be there and witness it. His close contact skills. He's an aggressive bloke as well for a winger. He's a big man, so he's just got to learn the game. And you see there the spatial awareness to score that try. Fantastic.
Good solid scrum from the home side, and they get the exit play. And there's going to be no rush to throw the ball in. That's a good decision by Ross Jones. So Heriot's leading by 26 points to 21. They've scored a try bonus point in the Super 6 for the first time this season, and that will delight the Heriot's coaching staff. But what will delight them even more, Kieran, is if they can manage to get them through the next 17 minutes and get themselves away with a win.
It would be a huge result for these guys, wouldn't it? A huge result. As we say, they're an up and down team, 28-0 at home at Goldenacre. I don't know if I can remember Heriot's getting nilled at Goldenacre. I'm sure it's happened before, but I certainly can't remember it. And again, they bounce back with a great performance.
First team to be blanked in the Super 6 this season, but what a response. You've watched many a game at Goldenacre. Heriot scoring points almost automatically. There's the latch as the tackle is made. Tackler moves away, trying to drag him down was Josh Scott. Ball through the hands of Houston. McMichael again, a good running line. Ball again. Gets it out quickly. There's Kate. I've been impressed by Andrew Ball. He's very quick to the breakdown, very quick to set himself and get play moving again.
He likes a fast track. He's a top of the ground runner as well. I think you could play him on the wing or fullback equally well. And it's good to have as many touches on the ball as he can.
Fires it away beautifully now. Houston trying to just make things a little bit tricky on that far side. Owsley goes across to gather. Now that's not a good decision to kick in field. Ian Wilson will gather. There's the offload. And there's the second offload, which is not a clever one. So I'll tell you what, Sampicure would be away, but the referee decides that there's a problem. He's speaking to his assistant, and he is marching back. And here's the incident. So this has been given by the assistant referee. And we're trying to hear the referee's mic is very, very low, unfortunately, and he's quite quietly spoken. And the penalty has been awarded. Well, let's have a look again. So there's the kick, Kieran. There was no follow through there. He tries to move away. Was it offside?
Offside, yeah.
Billy Wara?
Billy Wara's not retreated there, so that's a big swing, because Sam Picure was under the sticks there for a 7-pointer. And we've now got Bruce Houston, who you wouldn't put your mortgage on it, but you'd certainly put a little wager on him just popping this over.
So take his time, right-footed kick. Well, when it comes to big moments in games, that was certainly one. And it's looking to extend their lead, and again it's to take it into that crucial 8 points. Steps up, takes his time. Yeah, couldn't have done it any better. And successful with a penalty. Well, there is the swing. I mean, it really is as simple as that. It could be 28-26 at the moment for the Southern Knights. Instead, they find themselves 8 points down. Nobody was catching Sam Picure. There was absolutely no doubt about that.
Not at all. And for the sake of Billy Wara just retreating and having the work rate to go back five yards, and that's the coach killer. Sometimes you peel your hair out with that one. And I think we've all been there, and we've probably all done it ourselves when we've played as well. And he'll learn for that. And there's still time in this game for Southern Knights in this ding-dong battle.
There's an elbow, and the referee not happy with the contact that was made by Fraser Hasty. So there's the penalty. Again, Andrew Kelly would have just wanted his team to try and take this cleanly, but a bit of a variation, not going so far with the kick, seems to have worked for the Southern Knights.
Yeah, Jason Baggett's got the skill set just to put it wherever he wants. put a bit of stress on that receiving pod, and it's come up trumps this time and put them in a really good position.
Head to the white, lads.
Fascinating contest. Just under 13 minutes to play at the Greenyards. Heriots with a bonus point packed already away. Looking to take the win, which should lift them above Stirling County. Almost on the steal. Here come the Southern Knights. Come together. They've got everybody in there. They're looking for a bonus point try themselves. Splinters to the side. Can they find their way over? They're strong. It's all about getting a clean touchdown. And Heriots, I think, have held them up. And that's what the referee is indicating. Now he's coming back. That's great work from the Heriots pack.
Southern Knights at their best there, just about, that we've talked about this strong driving maul they've got. They've taken that from 15 metres out in a blink of an eye. They're right on their line. I think they've just knocked it on just in the line here.
Yeah, that's the decision, because it would have been a goal line dropout if they'd held them up, but I think the ball just escapes here. And again, they were so close to going over.
Desperation from Heriot there as well, every one of them. I think they know there's a bit of a sniff of a chance here for a big result, and they're all up for it.
You can see the man who was at the heart of that action was Ian Wilson, encouraging his team. He was in there doing his job, encouraging his team. Here comes Marshall. Marshall spots a little bit of real estate that he fancies. Now it's played back. Houston hooked and sent out of play. Not the cleanest kick, but he got it away.
Good work from Callum Marshall again, doing his basics well.
Well, Callum Marshall, I suspect, may be getting a mention amongst other players. And Kieran picks his player of the match, which he'll have to do in about 7 minutes' time.
Plenty of candidates, I think.
It's hard to see anybody who's had a bad game. And in terms of overall play, there's been some individual errors, but everybody's played their part.
Absolutely. Great intent, I think, from everybody. Played in good spirit tonight.
Speaking to Stevie Gemmell at half time, the tournament director, he says, yeah, there's been some mistakes, but you look at the way that the rugby's being played. Patrick Anderson trying to lead the charge. Now comes back across. Good challenge by Runciman, taken into contact. On his shoulder is Grant Shields. 10 minutes to play. Driving in James Head. Heriot's being stretched here. That's good play from Murdo McAndrew. Out wide it goes. The tackling is fierce. McAndrew again at the base. Runciman available. Head to. He's trying to get players in the right position. Jenkins is on the wrong side, needs to get himself out of there. Grant Shields being driven back. Tell you what, Sajak and Hasty have been a terrific pairing. Now it comes out, here's Godsmart. Skipper trying to make something happen. Here's the run. Dalton Redpath leading the charge. This is better from the Knights. Patience required. Through Baggett. Baggett onto Wara. Wara into the challenge. Well taken by Bruce Houston. Once more. Here comes the trundling up of James Head. Discipline required. No knock-ons or anything. Here's Godsmart. Godsmart, there was a line opened up for him. It's a great covering challenge by Ben Evans. Closed the door. Southern Knights trying to get on it. Heriot's battling for it. Back through Fraser Rennick. This is stout defending. Again, Procure trying to break the line.
Good patience from both teams here.
Baggett onto Wara. Wara, oh, it's tremendous. Just couldn't get the pass away. Now he can. But the referee decided the ball had gone forward. He was right up with play, Ben Blaine. So we'll give the referee the benefit of the doubt that it was the right call, because it would have made a terrific try with Anderson poised. Outrageous, just holding the ball up, trying to get it away. And the referee deciding on that occasion, Kieran, it gone forward.
Oh, inches, isn't it? It's a game of inches sometimes, and and that would have been tremendous. But good defence from Heriot's. Southern Knights finally showing some discipline, in their play in terms of holding onto the ball and stressing this Heriot's defence, and they create a chance because of that. And Billy Wara, fantastic skill this, isn't it?
Just tried to get it away, flicked. Yeah, just looked a little bit past the lateral.
It did. I mean, we speak a lot about in the sevens, are you in control when you throw that offload? Because if you're not, you leave it in the lap of the gods there a little bit, and he's falling back and he's on his back. So, there's a question mark over. Yes, fantastic skill, but is the decision to hold on to it there? But do you know what? If that goes to hand, I'm saying the exact opposite, and I'm saying it's fantastic. So, great to see again. The intent in this game has been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Both teams having a real crack at it.
This FOSROC Super 6 competition just gets better and better. Heriot's coming into tonight only twice in the 7 matches had scored more than 20 points. They're on 29, their first try bonus. It is now a question of can they manage this game away. A long time still to play. Front row's popped up, decision for the referee, and the penalty will go the way of Heriot's. And you could see the prop forward from the Southern Knights was the first to pop up, and that usually will influence the referee in his decision. It's certainly a win for Messrs Cruikshank, Shields and Rennick. And the pack, and the chance for Bruce Houston to get things moving away. The other thing that was important about the discipline play, you talked about the Heriot's defence, but again, they're just taking time off the clock. So even if they had conceded the score there, they'd knocked another couple of minutes off the clock, as Bruce Houston nearly threads that through the commentary box window. Wasn't far away.
Yeah, you're right. It gets to the stage in the game now, as you said, the 8-point margin is crucial. So we're at 8 points. There's now 7 minutes to go. There is pressure on Southern Knights now. No matter what you say, and no matter if they say how calm they're going to try and be, there is pressure. They have to play now. They have to throw the kitchen sink. That's pressure in defence now as well. They're going to have to have a real crack at them here and try and come up with some plays to get the ball back. On cue,
Cammy Fenton wasn't straight. The referee saw it. Well, the Ayrshire Bulls will be enjoying this action if they could see the Southern Knights go down. It's a long way still to go. You can still see the shake of the head from Cammy Fenton. The throw is so important. You can see it coming in here. You could see it slipped out the side of the hand. You could see the spin on the ball. And the referee, there's a margin of error that referees work to, but that was way on the Heriot side.
Yeah, he's an experienced bloke, Cammy, as well. He'll not let that phase him. He'll get on with his next job into the scrum and get into a good defensive set for Heriot.
And that's a fair point, because the free kick for early engagement, you've got to be able to, at this level, just forget about the error and move on. Baggett now sends it out wide. Procure, little stutter step, tries to go wide. Oh, he is absolutely electric, and he's plugged in tonight. There he goes, over the 22. Grant Shields. Throw back once more onto Baggett. Baggett gets things moving. Smart tries the long looping pass. Here's Anderson. Anderson trying to take on Young. Lays the ball back. Heriot's trying to get over the ball again. The level of commitment from both sides is excellent. Inside it comes onto Dalton Redpath. Again, the longer Heriots can hold out, even if they do concede, it's to their advantage. The tackle comes in on Callum Cruikshanks. It's been hard yards for the Southern Knights. They've gathered. It's gathered once more. Grant Shields. Good tackle. Heriots have been disciplined, and that is key. The Southern Knights have so many penalty tries this season, joint top scorer for the Southern Knights, simply because they bludgeon teams into causing problems for themselves. Now they'll come back once more. Just over 4 minutes to play. See that in contact. There's Procure again.
Keep going. Backwards, 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 still backwards.
Ball went backwards, says the referee. Heriots continue to tackle ferociously. Good play by Nimmo. They're getting closer and closer. The ball was guddled there. And Callum Cruikshanks was taken down. Now here's a chance for Baggett. Baggett being held up by Marshall. Gets the offload onto Fraser Rennick. And Fraser Rennick knocks it to Grant Shields, who goes over. And there's the try. What a terrific game, setting up a terrific finish. It's a little bit of rough and tumble at the end here, as both these teams are giving everything. Tempers fraying and flaring slightly. Barry Fenton just pulling away Joe Jenkins. The time will have to come off here as the referee sorts this one out. But the Southern Knights get themselves a bonus point and get themselves within 3 points. Terrific stuff.
Yeah, and I think Baggett will knock this over, which will make it a 1 point game, which, you know, this is probably what the game deserves, because it's been an absolute cracker. We're heading into the last couple of minutes and it's all to play for on both teams. Brilliant stuff. Great patience again. We spoke about it. Discipline from the Southern Knights team. They back their drills, back their systems. They went through the phases. I don't know how many phases there. Heriot's doing everything they can. Good low body position there in the end, and a great finish.
Grant Shields with his second try in the Super 6 in his career, his first this season. One last season, one this. And talking of one, we've got a 1 point game on our hands. The conversion made by Jason Baggett. Well, it's been terrific. Well, 7 of the 14 wins in the Super 6 this season have been less than a 7 point margin. 5 games have been 3 points or less. Heriots have been involved in a 1 point game. They got the win at Watsonians. What a memorable double it would be if they were able to win at the Green Yards and at Myerside in the same season. Under 3 minutes to play. Ross Jones. Heriots are going to compete for this one, and it has worked. That was terrific from Heriots. His ball nearly gets himself knocked away. Ball still under pressure. Sadak shows great hands. I'm not quite sure how Kieran Beatty's going to pick a player of the match, but he's going to have to. And it's going to be very interesting as Hasty runs through. And the penalty. Heriots have come through. And so the Southern Knights are going to get the chance to get things going. And here's the penalty. Well, Hasty took it into contact. Wilson came in there as well. But the referee not happy. Heriots going in off their feet. And the penalty is awarded.
Fantastic work by Southern Knights again. Discipline, it could go either way there. If they're slightly indisciplined, they could go off their feet there, and it gives Heriots that ball in the corner. They stayed strong. They've won the penalty, and now they're in the position as we head into this last minute with a point in between the two teams. They've got the ball in the Heriots half. Fantastic stuff.
And that was probably the fundamentals letting Heriots down there. They didn't need to do that. They'd won the kick-off, which was something they gambled going slightly shorter.
Yep, they did, and it was more in case the guys clearing over, just, you know, fatigue, bit of switching off, just a bit too high, just allowed that space for Southern Knights just to drive past them and put them under pressure there.
It's a big throw for Fraser Rennick. Needs to nail this one. He does so. Ever reliable, Dalton Redpath. They brought it down, they have it at the base. Heriots trying to hold off the maul, but the maul is moving. Well, this maul is terrific. Heriots have no answer to this. The Southern Knights have gathered on that far side. They've broken away, they're still going. And the Southern Knights get the penalty try. Well, it's habitual for them. The referee's gone between the posts. The Southern Knights celebrate. And there will be a card coming as well. There's one or two bits and pieces of afters as well. But the Southern Knights perfectly off the top of the line out. The driving ball was perfection. The penalty try, now the top scorer for the season, was given. And Heriots have let this one slip.
It was letting them down so much in the start of the game. And the irony that it's come good in the end. And oh geez, what was that? 25 metres out?
Yeah,
25 metres out, and they went in. Fantastic.
There's been a yellow card as well for Heriots. Let's try to check. I think it's Fraser Hasty, but I'll confirm that in a moment or two. Well, now they need to try and get the ball back. It has been taken as one. So Ronan Sejak, both with black scrum cap locks. Heriots now. Currently they have a try bonus point. They would have a losing bonus point, but they don't want to be losers on a night like this. 5 tries to 4, they're being outscored. Can they find a way through? Cammy Fenton, there was no way through. It's been given as a turnover, is good, and he's going to romp his way through to seal the victory, take away the losing bonus points from Heriots. Billy Warner scores the try, and 40-29 doesn't tell the tale of this game.
Well, it came down at the wire, didn't it? As you say, the scoreline doesn't tell the tale, but what a game of rugby we've had on tonight. Fantastic game of rugby. Billy Wara, great steal. You know, I thought I'm right in line with that there, and I thought he's coming from the side, but no. Ben Blaine again, he's closer to the action. He says he's fine, and he's got the fresh legs to run 60 metres there and break Heriot's hearts.
Well, this will be the last action of the evening, but look at this. Then they've just pressed the accelerator and he was gone. Cammy Fenton, well, didn't put up any resistance. He knew it was futile. And the Southern Knights, what a stunning victory it is, and what a way to go over the try line. Well, a penny for the thoughts of Andrew Kelly. What he's gone through this evening. His Heriot's side have been superb. They've scored 4 tries. And they've conceded 6 somehow, 2 in the last 3 minutes. Now that is a smile and a half.
I think when the dust settles, I think Andrew Kelly will be proud of his men tonight. Yeah. They've thrown the kitchen sink at them, and they've played with some real attacking intent as well. So
Jason Baggett, absolutely perfection to finish. 42 points to 29, 10 tries, the highest scoring split between 2 teams so far in the competition, and it was a thing of beauty as a rugby match. If you wanted to be entertained, you came to the right place. Kieran Beattie alongside me. I mean, you could talk a long time about that game. Heriots, as you say, will be disappointed, while the coach will be happy with the swagger that they showed, the offloading that they showed against arguably so far the best team in the tournament.
Yeah, we spoke about it all night. The intent in which Heriots have come and played this, and you know, the pressure was off a little bit on this when we spoke about it at the start, and that's maybe the lesson they need to take from this. Okay, they've been really up and down all season, and actually tonight they've just went back to what they're good at, which is having a crack at things. And yes, they'll give away penalties. Yes, they'll knock the ball on, but the flip side of that is they're breaking the line. They're scoring some good tries. They're scoring 4 tries, which is the first time they've done, and they've had 80 minutes of that where they've had good intent and trying to play.
Let's have a look at the highlights from the second half, and boy, there's been plenty of them. Player of the match, the FOSROC Super 6 player of the match is Callum Young. He will get his award in a few moments' time in a cracking, pulsating contest. Well, how about this for a try? Beautifully involved. Mitchell on to Anderson. Watch the run of Owsley. Gathered. And then there was no chance for Ross Jones. He was going to cut across. Callum Young tried to make the tackle past McMichael again. That was his first try for the Southern Knights. And down it went.
Great work from the impressive Andrew Mitchell. It's a shame he had to go off. But again, look at that, getting through the hands. Sighting his pass as well on the way down. And Paddy Anderson, who seems to be at the heartbeat of everything that goes well for Southern Knights throughout this campaign. We'd asked for it at the start, didn't we? We said we wanted to see Fred Ayres in a bit of space, and he glides through in second gear.
Players being applauded off the pitch as we watch. That was the yellow card. Chris Owsley just reaching out, and Heriots were to make them pay. But again, it was the running rugby. Kay and McMichael, the centre pairing, were terrific for Heriots, and there was Callum Young, read it perfectly, and the sprinting involved there. You see the hair going back in the wind. That was a terrific score.
Yeah, great discipline to hold his feet there. It's quite easy to overrun those, especially when Ben Evans is kind of hitting the tackle there. You can easily run past it, but he holds his feet. Great timing on the ball, and it allows him to hit the ball at pace. as we see Ben Evans just getting checked there. Callum Young, great line.
It was all about the line running, and tonight these players had done really, really well.
He was good both sides of the ball tonight, Callum. I think he deserves that player of the match. He's done his fundamentals well, he's defended well, and he's got a well-deserved try for his lines of running as well.
There was the crossfield kick. Now Billy Warrett was going to go, and he just came up too early, and Sanfecure was going to be away. Now at that point we thought that was a real turning point in the game, because that could have been the chance for Houston. This made it an 8-point game, still with 17 minutes to play, and he nailed the kick nicely.
I think in any other game you would have said, look, I'd bet I'd put a bit of money on this one going Heriot's way, but tonight, you know, there was still, what was that, 12 minutes on the clock, 18 minutes on the clock. With the type of game it was just back and forth, and excellent stuff.
But Heriots had done so well. You know, Southern Knights kept, banging on the door, trying to find their way through. Couldn't make their way through, but just they ran out of steam in the end, Heriots, and that was the mistake from Fenton, and there's that little gift of the ball away, and just little things like that was to pay. But I mean, the defending was very, very strong, but this was on a penalty advantage. This is the Shields try, just with 3 minutes to play. And this is one of 3 tries in the last few minutes for the Southern Knights. I
think it's the class of Southern Knights, and it's why they are where they are. They probably not played at their best tonight and scored 42 points. Let's not forget. I mean, it shows the class of this. They've got a number of injuries. They've rotated their squad as well. So, they're sitting top of the FOSROC Super 6 for a reason, and it's reasons like this, so imagine if it all clicks together for them. They're going to be a force of nature.
That was another mistake. They gathered the kick out, but it wasn't to be, and this was good. Fraser Rennick at the back, it splintered. Now this must have gone 30 metres. I mean, Heriots had simply no answer to this, and you could see Rennick going in. The maul was collapsed, the yellow card was to come, and that old fans' favourite of the Southern Knights penalty try goes into the scorebook again. And the reaction, you can just see exactly what it meant to them and the work that they put in to get there.
Yeah, I think probably a relief from the first half, when their kind of go-to hadn't been that successful. They had to go to plan B on it. They worked through it. Even some of the line-out work even further up the pitch wasn't great tonight, but when it needed to, it came good. And it came good, and it won the game for them. And again, that shows the class of this Southern Knights team.
It was absolutely terrific. And then Heriots didn't deserve this. They were going for it. They were flinging the ball about as they had done the whole game. But Billy Warrett was in there, found the ball, and the referee, brilliant bit of hurdling. And then the biggest smile in Melrose this evening belonged to Billy Warrett as he wandered his way over. This was harsh on Heriots. This denied him the bonus point, and up and down he went.
Yeah, good finish for the big lad. He's fresh on the pitch, but Rory McMichael's just got up from a bit of cramp there and seen a bit of open space and thought, I've got to track this guy for 60 metres, and didn't fancy it, which is fair enough. But yeah, just kind of typical of the game.
Just couldn't do it. It was beautifully done. Over he went, and in to the corner. Well, what a night it's been at the Green Yards for the Southern Knights. What a victory. The player of the match, though, belonged to Heriots, and the player of the match was Callum Young, and Callum Young will get his player of the match presentation down below. Ian Wilson, the skipper, giving him the handshake, and the pictures will be taken. Well, what a night it's been here in Melrose at the Green Yards. Thanks from all of us here at the Green Yards. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's for the Southern Knights 42-29. Let's have a look at the table and what that means. The Southern Knights now have an 8-point advantage with 2 games to play. It's hard to see them being caught. Watsonians would need to be perfect, and Southern Knights would need to drop their games. So the Southern Knights, what a comeback win it has been. Next Friday evening we'll be in Millbrae in air. What will be a really good game. It could be a preview of the final In fact, on form Ayrshire Bulls and the league leading Southern Knights. You can watch the home match live on the BBC iPlayer, the BBC Sports Scotland website and the Scottish Rugby website as well. Don't forget, you can watch all the highlights of all this weekend matches at scottishrugby.org on Monday, and you can follow all the action over the weekend with exclusive in-game clips and scores and updates on Twitter at super6rugby.com. 71 points, 10 tries, summer evening at the Green Yards. Thanks to the crew, thanks to you for watching, and bye for now.